Hello there my lovely fellow crafters, it's Terry from Vegs Tez Creates here for Fairy Stamper today. So today I'm going to make a mini slimline card. I don't think I've actually made a mini slimline card before, but I've seen them around quite a bit recently. So we've got Bonnie here from the latest release in September, who I just think is adorable and so happy that she had to come and live with me. And then these gorgeous hanging snowflakes, which it's turning towards autumn now, and so sort of thinking about Christmas and crafting for Christmas and things like that. And I just thought how lovely it would be that Bonnie would be jumping around celebrating and then have some snowflakes hanging around. So I'm going to do, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a distress ink blended background. I'm using tumbled glass, salvaged patina and cracked pistachio. So I'm going to do it like a gradient of blue, bluey green and green. And then I've got a couple of speciality embossing powders. So I've got this Nouveau one, which is called Ocean Sparkle, which I thought would be nice to stamp Bonnie in. And then this Sparkling Snow from Wow, which I think I used that in my last but one video for Fairy Stamper, so I'll link that here now so you can see. That's the one where I did the wintry scene with Arabella skating on the lake. I really loved that card, and this Sparkling Snow is beautiful. It's like white embossing powder with glitter in it, so I thought that would be really, really nice for the snowflakes. So I'm probably going to have this one in the centre and then this one hanging here and here. So I think that'll be really, really cute. So first order of the day is ink blending. So I've got out my Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station, which I often tend to use for ink blending because it's really handy because you get the strong magnets to hold things in place. And then I'm going to just get cracking with the ink blending. Now, I'm hoping this is going to work because I only had the re-inker for tumbled glass. So I bought some blank distress ink pads, and I'm just sort of hoping for the best. Oh, yeah, it's working. I wasn't sure whether I'd put enough in or too much or something, but that seems to be fine. It's blending. Just using some inexpensive blending brushes. You could use just the regular sponge blending tools. Obviously whatever you prefer for your ink blending. Also, you don't have to use Distress Oxide. You could use any inks. It's funny how the idea for this card came up, because originally I was going to do an ink blended background, probably on a square card, purely made up of the snowflakes. But I had forgotten that they had strings on them. So hanging snowflakes, I was more picturing snowflakes. So then when I actually picked it up out of my little pot of, my little box of Fairy Stamper stamps, I was like, okay, so they're hanging. And then I spotted Bonnie and I was like, okay, that would make a really nice card. So I just think it's funny sometimes how like card ideas evolve. Do you know what I mean? Do you find that like you sort of have an idea and then it sort of evolves and turns into something sort of similar but different? I'd love to know what you think, or if that just happens to me. So let me know in the comments. It'd be lovely to know. Yeah, so also I'll take this opportunity whilst I'm doing the ink blending just to remind you of the Fairy Stamper Hugs Facebook group that we have. It's a lovely community over there. We have challenges, regular challenges, people sharing their makes, and a regular challenge every month to win a gift certificate to the store. and it's just a really nice place to be and to hang out, and lots of lovely, like, supportive, like-minded people. So and you don't just have to use fairy stamper hugs stamps as well. You know, we're it's not a group where you're restricted to using fairy stamper hug stamps. You can use whatever you want to, so don't let that put you off. If you think, oh well, I like to mix my stamp companies together, that's fine. You know, just if you like making sort of magical, mystical, whimsical type cards, then I think you'll find a lot of inspiration and a lot of friendliness and good vibes over there. So I'm one of the video design team members, and there are a number of us, and just in case, I'm just telling you this in case this is the first time you've stumbled across this channel, or this video and my video in this channel. So there are a number of us on the Fairy Stamper video design team, and we post content most weekdays. I think it's pretty much every day. There might be the odd day here and there where there isn't a new video, but it's pretty much every day. So there's lots and lots of inspiration. So if you like to learn and gain inspiration by watching videos, then I highly suggest, you know, that you check out some of the other videos on the channel. What else is there to mention? I've got my own YouTube channel, Vegs Create. So if you want to find out more about my work that's not fairy stamper related, then the information for my YouTube channel and Instagram and whatnot will be in the description box below. So going back to the card, I'm really liking the way this is turning out. I think this is a lovely, I mean, it's playing it quite safe in terms of a gradient, I think. We've got three quite similar colours, really, but that's what you sort of want when you're going for a gradient, isn't it? But these are three colours that I really like, to be honest, so I thought that they would look nice together. And they are blending beautifully. Only trouble is, it does take a while for distress inks and pigment inks to dry. So if you're not that experienced with ink blending, just to bear that in mind. So I'm not going to be able to do any stamping or heat embossing for a little while, because I need to wait for this ink panel to dry. I could speed it up and use my heat gun or heat tool to speed it up and dry it manually, but I'd prefer not to. I prefer just to leave it to dry naturally, because I don't know, my card always tends to warp when I try and heat set it, and I know it's not supposed to. If you get it good and hot first. I've just realised I'm using the wrong, I meant to be using that one. The rule of thumb is that if you use a heat tool once it's really nice and good and hot, then it shouldn't warp the paper, but I always manage to warp the paper, and it's not a big deal actually. There is an easy fix if you have warped your paper. What I've found is that if you just put the paper on top of the if you get your normal sandwich ready for that you would do your die cutting with, and then put a piece of plain printer paper over the top, just so that no scratches or bits of ink or sticky or anything get onto your panel. Put it over the top of your panel and just run that through your die cutting machine. It applies the pressure, so it makes it all nice and flat again. I did that with a card I made a few days ago, because the heating, but I was rushing it, and well, not rushing, just obviously eager to get cracking with my card. But yeah, so that's a tip for you. I think I really quite like that. Yeah, that looks nice. So I will see you back in a moment which will actually probably be tomorrow in real time, but with the wonders of the internet, I shall see you back in a moment and we can get stamping. Okay, my friends, so today it's the following day and the card panel that we inked up has dried beautifully. I'm really pleased with it. It's a really nice smooth gradient. So now comes the fun part about where to stamp things. So if you've watched any of my previous videos for fairy stamping, you'll know that I like to use the acetates in order to help with the lining up. So I'm going to do this. So I want her about here, and then I'm going to do the main. Well, I'm going to do the fairy first, whose name is, just as a reminder, Bonnie. So I'm going to do Bonnie first, because she's going to be in the nice sparkly turquoisey colour, and then I'm going to do the Snowflakes second, and they're all going to be in the same colour. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then put the magnets on here to hold this down securely. Remove the acetate. And then I'm going to add my Versamark clear sticky ink, embossing ink. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. I'm hoping it's going to be enough of a contrast. So fingers crossed it will. Oh, that looks very cute. It's a really nice detail. You can see that there. I write on the piece of paper, once I've used it the first time, the specific colour of embossing powder that I've used, and then I just keep all of the pieces of paper in the drawer with my heat embossing supplies, and I find that really helps, just to save, you know, having to get a new sheet of paper every time, because, you know, it might only seem like a little thing, but it, you know, it's just wasting paper, I feel. So just realised that it didn't go over that in my anti-static powder tool, did I? So that's not very good. However, touch wood, that looks pretty good to me. So I'm heating up my heat gun over there. And I know this is quite a similar colour, but I'm thinking it'll sort of add to the sort of ethereal nature. You know, the sort of otherworldliness, like maybe, you know, she's semi-invisible. And can only be seen in certain lights. You know, you can just see a sort of glimmer here and there. So as long as this comes out, as long as the embossing itself turns out well, I think this should end up looking nice. Oh, that looks pretty. There we go. So I think that looks really pretty. So on to the next bit. So again, I'm just getting my acetate out and lining, trying to line up the snowflake in the centre. I could measure this out, but I'm just eyeballing it, to be honest. I tend to find my eyeballs tend to be quite accurate. So, but if you're if you find that you often make things wonky, then you might want to just put a little mark in the centre of the card at the top. I'm not saying that I'm perfect and this won't be wonky, but I'm usually pretty okay. There we go. Oh, the paper's still hot. You can see how gorgeous that is. I think it looks so nice against the background. I am going to go around Bonnie with some white gel pen and some sparkly gel pen, just to bring, like, to make her pop a bit more. But I still like the fact that she's not like glaringly obvious, but I just want to bring her a little bit more to the foreground. So I'm going to go ahead and add the other two snowflakes, the smaller ones. Okay, so I've stamped the snowflakes and I'm really pleased with the way they've turned out. I think they look absolutely gorgeous, as does Bonnie, our lovely happy fairy. But unfortunately, some of the Versamark ink got in a few places when I was stamping a couple of the images. Particularly here, it's quite noticeable. So in order to remedy that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some Tsukineko Shimmer Spritz. So because obviously these are distress oxides, and with all distress inks, they have that property of being water reactive. I'm actually going to use the shimmer spray to lift off some of the pigment, so to give it a sort of snowy effect with sparkle as well, and that should hopefully cover up or sort of help the eye ignore those little areas of imperfection. So I'm going to do that, wait for that to dry, and then go around Bonnie in a white gel pen, and then I'm going to mat this onto some cardstock, probably some holographic cardstock, and then I'll be back in a moment with the finished card. And here we go, my friends, the completed card. I'm really pleased with the way that this one's turned out. I sprayed that Tsukineko Shimmer Spritz and also added some white gel pen dots, sort of like more at the top, so it's like heavier snowfall at the top with some light snowfall at the bottom. And then I also added a little snowbank using some white glitter cardstock. And I chose some like fuchsia pink to add some details into her wings and also onto her dress. And then found some glittery cardstock which matched perfectly. So I'll tilt this in the light for you so you can see. It's got so much sort of sparkle and bling going on. From the shimmer spritz and the embossing powders and the glitter cardstock. So I think it's turned out really well. I've left it sentiment free, and I think that would be a lovely sort of wintry birthday card for anyone really, an adult, a teenager, a child, or it'd be a nice Christmas card as well. So really quite versatile, I think. So yeah, I'd love to know your thoughts, what you think. Do you like it, and what do you think you would use it for? Do you think you'd use it more for a birthday card or a Christmas card? So yeah, just let me know in the comments. That would be great. So that's all from me today, Terry for Fairy Stamper, and I'll see you again in another 2 weeks. Bye for now.